Hi, I'm Dave from MKDVB. Now, after my first night with the Chase Bliss pedal, I was pretty sure I was gonna sell it. By the next night, I was addicted. And now I'm sitting here wondering, after a few weeks with it, I'm like, is this the best Chase Bliss pedal ever? Let's dig into it after the open. Okay, now I can't definitively say whether or not the Habit is the best Chase Bliss pedal because I haven't played every single one of them. I mean, it's possible that Brothers or Condor would rock my world, right? And of course, there's also that holy grail kind of Chase Bliss version of the Generation Lost, which I haven't paid. Slip of the tongue there. I haven't played or paid for or will ever pay for. I have tried Blooper, the CXM 1978, Therme, Dark World, Tonal Recall, Red Dot Mode, Mood, the Womb Tone Mark II, and Habit. So that's what, 8 pedals? It's a lot. Is the Habit the best one? Before we get into that, let's talk about what makes the Habit so awesome in the first place. Unlike, say, Microcosm or Arcades, it doesn't force feed the algorithms to you. The Habit is really more about taking a few core concepts and extending them as far as they can go, maybe beyond, and then opening the design up for users to create their own sounds by exploring those concepts. For example, just take the delay. This is a core foundational effect for the Habit, like it is for a lot of pedals, really, right? But instead of building like a flanger or a chorus or a slapback or reverbs with delay lines, right? The Habit built an echo collector. I mean, whatever that means. I don't know what that means. I mean, you can use the Habit as a straight delay, right? It's perfectly serviceable. But I just, it's a digital pedal, and even when I turn on the modifiers, I just don't really get that much vibe from it as a straight delay, right? It doesn't give me the same feels that I get when I use a Moog delay, or even when with a proper tape delay emulation pedal like the UAFX Starlight. And if I wanted a delay pedal that could do some weird things with some long delay times, I would go with the Eventide Rose. Things start to get interesting when you bring in the spread, which is kind of like a multi-tap, and then you have scan, which is like a granular effect, and then you have then you can add in modifiers, and then you can bring in kind of like the lo-fi take vibe, or stuttering effects, or affect the playback speed or the pitch, right? And on top of all that, you've got this always-on 3-minute memory loop and how it interacts with everything else. For me, the complete package of all that is where the Habit becomes magic. As you can see, I love synthesizers. And for certain types of synth nerds, we are obsessed with this idea of randomness. I think it's because, arpeggiators and sequencers and loops, they can sound kind of static, right? And so we're always trying to find ways to kind of breathe life into these things, either by tweaking knobs or slamming faders or injecting randomness. Electronic instruments just lack that natural variation and subtlety that comes from playing when you play an acoustic instrument. Our ears and our minds, we need that variation, right? Without it, we adapt to what we're hearing and then we get bored. And so randomness kind of promises to add that variation in, but there's a problem with it. I guess not to be redundant, but it's too random. Unless you're doing experimental music like free improv or noise, it's just too much. We don't really want randomness in our music, right? What we want is unpredictability, but in the context of our music. The Habit isn't random, though it can sound that way if you wanted to. What it delivers is unpredictability related to your playing. It's related in pitch because it's taking your playing and manipulating it and you have total control over which octaves or pitches that it's sounding. And it's related in time and tempo because you can set the tap tempo and then use the size knob to adjust the timing to your needs. As far as delivering usable unpredictability in a musical context, it's probably the most successful implementation that I've ever come across. Now, let's imagine that you had a bandmate, right? And this bandmate is a total stoner who can't even turn on their amp until after they have smoked a bowl first. But instead of it being some rando off the street, right? It's really just the most stoned out, bizarro version of yourself. That's what I'm talking about. Now, I read a comment from someone that said that they weren't really, interested in this aspect of the pedal, right? I mean, that's what they have bandmates for. So I remember having bandmates. That was cool. If any of you want to collaborate, hit me up in the comments down below. Email, comments, IG, whatever. Getting back to the pedal, I mean, unless you're looking for bread and butter types of effects and sounds, the Habit's design is so versatile that you can find lots of different ways to use it and still be totally satisfied. For me, that stoner bandmate version of myself is where the magic is. And that's why the Habit is my pick for the best Chase Bliss pedal.